What's good, everybody? Welcome in to The Early Edge, your daily sports betting brand of record. We are powered, as always, by the almighty SportsLine, the best value in all sports betting, and it is not close. Now, last night, we're going through it right now, just like every other brand in America. It's kind of like 5 up, 5 down, 6 up, 6 down. Basketball is very, very difficult. My man Rock in the chat said, I lost $1,000 on the Bucks Clippers over last night. Right now, for the next month, don't do that, Rock. You can't predict these games better than 50-50 right now, but we're going to try. We're going to try. But money management, bankroll management. But even if you have a bad week, even if you've had a bad month, it's only February 3rd. One thing you can always count on to pick you up, to bring you back. You know what day it is. It's time for Big Pick Energy Friday. Sia, what was that?
You know what it is. It's the shoulder shimmy. Yes! Trademarked, patented. That's mine.
The Sia shoulder shimmy is back. Oh, that made me feel good. And I feel good seeing these three beautiful faces. Ladies and gentlemen, for anybody new to the brand, welcome to my favorite show of the entire week, Big Pick Energy Friday, with three of my favorite guys. First and foremost, he is the counselor of cash. He does have the shoulder shimmy. He's got 8,000 nicknames because he deserves it. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, Sia Nejad. Good morning, sir.
And I'm still riding high from my showdown with Buckets last week, Justin Thomas being the loser there. But I got to be honest, I was just a holding cell for that money as I had to give it to Coach thanks to the AFC and NFC Championship game on Sunday. So I'm back. I've got some picks. I've got some long shots in our little golf tournament, the AT&T Pebble Beach, that you might want to keep an eye on. So I can't wait to talk about it.
Yeah, I actually hit my head-to-head round one yesterday thanks to a Kelly Craft double bogey on 18. That's always nice. That's always nice. When you look at the little, your phone and he's in the bunker on 9 and you know it's a long par 4, you're like, I got a chance. And we cashed it. I love final holes in golf when you're behind and that happens. All right, Buckets, are you going to allow that? Are you going to allow a man to disparage your name on national television? Are you going to allow that?
Sia, come on. It's a week later, and I'm still catching strays. Yes, I made a mistake betting on a guy who I didn't even know his name before the show. But don't worry. I may be 0-3 on showdowns, but on big, I got to be careful. Big pick energy, I plan on bouncing back. The first bucket showdown win is coming up soon. I can feel it.
I agree. You cannot bring up bets from 5 days ago. By the way, Buckets, he actually paid me twice, not just one. You can't bring up those things. You can't bring up those things twice in the same day. Did you know you could do that, Chip? Did you know you could do that
on purpose, or was this just out of
on purpose? No, you can pay somebody 2 times in one day. Venmo will allow you to do that.
I try not to have those kind of debts.
All right, finally, he is the reason we have this show. He is the reason he picks you up on a Friday morning, ladies and gentlemen. Chip Patterson. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, Sia. Good morning, Buckets. Good morning, Early Edge fam. So great to see everybody hanging out, watching live, where it cha-ching pays to watch live. Look, rivalry weekend in college basketball is also kind of the beginning of the casual college basketball season. NFL playoffs are now taking a week off. So a lot of people are starting to turn their attention, and I'm excited to be rocking with you. Yeah, I mean, diehards, of course, I respect you with the utmost levels. But those of you that are just getting in, let me hold your hands. Let me show you what the water feels like, because it is going to be a phenomenal finish to the college basketball season.
All right. Now we have our first opportunity for somebody to win cool, cold, hard cash. I need you to write into the chat. Hashtag Bucketheads if you want to participate, and your Venmo. First question of the day. Buckets. Do you know what a double bogey is?
Ooh.
Here's the thing, Coach. I have gotten 3 of these giveaways right in a row, and so we can't be mad. I know it's golf, correct?
Correct.
And it is, I believe it's when you hit or from start to finish on a hole, it takes you 6 strokes to get the ball in. Is that right?
I mean, it's right like 14 out of 18 times, right?
Yeah,
Or like 12 out of 18 times.
You almost got it right. That would be correct on a par 4. However, there are par 3s and par 5s.
Well, the problem is, Coach, when I golf, I never hit over par, so it's not something I've had to worry about personally. So that's probably what happened.
Oh my God! All right, we don't have any winners yet. Stop it! Just stop it. But you may have another opportunity. That's all I'm going to say. You may have another opportunity. If you want to participate, hashtag Bucketheads and your Venmo, please, into the chat. We've given away a lot of money in the last week. All right, let's get into it. Storylines could affect the betting lines on this very important Friday as we head into the weekend before the Super Bowl. Wheels up for your boy on Sunday afternoon. Can't wait. So, Chip, we're starting with you. You just talked about it. We're starting to get into rivalries. We're starting to get into that last month of the basketball season. We've seen how hard it is to predict these games because these teams know each other. Educate me.
All right, we're going to begin. I want to highlight a couple of rivalries that are coming up. These are all on Saturdays, so we don't have our official numbers yet, but these are trends that you want to keep in mind so you can jump on those numbers early. North Carolina at Duke. Last 7 years, 4 times the visiting team has won on the other team's home court. The other team also wins the first game when they are the visitor. That'd be 2022 Duke and Chapel Hill, 21 UNC and Durham, 2019 UNC and Durham, 2016 Duke and Chapel Hill. North Carolina has won 4 straight in Durham. Coach K court not so intimidating to those in the baby blue, and 5 out of 7 in Durham dating back to 2016. North Carolina, if they find themselves as a big underdog, keep that in mind. This is a place where they've been successful. Purdue at Indiana, it ain't so even right there. Purdue has won 13 of the last 15 games dating back to 2014. Indiana playing at home with Purdue in town. It's going to be a little bit of a trendy underdog pick. Be careful about this number, but I got to say that the matchup down low between Zach Edey and Trace Jackson Davis is an absolute banger. We're talking 2 All-American big men. The great thing that NIL and the current basketball era has given is the return of the traditional big man. Zach Edey, Trace Jackson Davis are going to be there. Mike Woodson does have one of those 2 wins, and that was in Bloomington. So Indiana definitely going to try to put Purdue on upset alert. And then finally, Ohio State and Michigan. This game is Sunday, and it is on CBS, America's most watched network, the network of stars. This thing is so tight. 4-4 in Ann Arbor, 2-2 in Columbus, 2-2. But this is the thing that I love about this particular game on Sunday on CBS. The desperation levels are through the roof because neither of these teams is in Jerry Palm's projected field of 68. And if either one of these teams, Chris Holtmann at Ohio State, or if you all of a sudden are looking at what happened, like why is Michigan not in the NCAA tournament the way they normally are? Well, Juwan Howard needs to get his boys ready. Chris Holtmann needs to get his boys ready because a loss is so detrimental to an NCAA tournament resume. Must-win game for Ohio State and Michigan. So I love that. UNC, Duke, Purdue, Indiana, and Ohio State, Michigan. 3 massive rivalry games to keep your eyes on. And, of course, you want some action on it.
Hopefully you had your paper. Hopefully you had your pen because you got to write that information down. It's a ton. Educate and entertain. It's exactly what Chip Patterson does. But, Chip, can you do me a favor, please?
Sure.
We're men of the people, are we not?
Sure.
Are we not? Well, Joe came in a little bit late this morning. He goes, oh, just made it. Damn, I missed Chip dancing. Can you give him a little bit, Chip?
Okay, can we get the tunes? I need the music.
I don't know.
Snake?
Snake? Can we get the opening music? Two times we just made history. 2 times we danced in the show. Joe, that was just for you. But you don't get 2 shimmies. You don't get 2 Sia shimmies. No. Those are
also,
special.
Clyde in the chat earlier was asking if we're going to be cashing with the flashes. You know, I have been out here asking for Kent State. And we'll see. Okay. I can't give out all my picks now. But yeah, I have seen my eyes, and I've been running the Chipalytics on Kent State to see if we are cashing with the flashes. So we'll find out here in a little bit.
I've loved the MAC's my favorite league for us to bet on. I love the MAC. All right, that's storyline number 1. Now, storyline number 2. Yesterday, see, as I was shifting through social media, you popped up on my feed, and I've been telling people for years there's nobody better at picking a first-round leader than my man, the counselor. And what happened yesterday? Once again, you do the work. You do the work. And people can get more of that. Where? Our brand new golf show called what?
Well, it's called The Early Wedge. Pretty clever.
Yes! I like it.
Now, you picked your first-round leader, but yesterday, as I cashed mine, it literally was sitting in my queue or my account for 6.5 hours. It's the longest rounds ever. What do we like today?
Yeah, and I'll tell you, just to be totally clear, the first round leader, Hank Lebioda, it wasn't actually something that I put out on the early wedge. It wasn't an official play. It was kind of just an afterthought when somebody tweeted something funny about Sebastian Munoz going to live. I casually mentioned that Lebioda is going to be our new first round leader king, and then boom, he pops up as the first round leader. So just one of those things. I'm actually a big Hank Lebioda guy. He's on top of the leaderboard. But here's what we have today. We have, it's very fitting that Chip was just dancing. It looked kind of like the Soulja Boy. Here we have Kevin Yu. This is the play. Kevin Yu, Soulja Boy, tell him, over Sam Cat Stevens. They're playing at Spyglass today. This bet you can find on Caesars. Kevin Yu is a minus 140 favorite. I got to be honest. Sam Cat Stevens, and I'm making that nickname up, but Sam Stevens, he's been pretty good lately. He's had pretty good finishing positions, but I think there's a big talent gap between right now in their careers between Sam Stevens and Kevin Yu. So I'm going to take Kevin Yu, who's been doing most things at an elite level.
Whoa. I need to stop you right there.
Ooh.
I need to stop you. We're not at our picks yet. We're
Is
not
this
at our picks yet.
storylines?
We're still in storylines.
Storyline, Sia.
It's okay.
But I thought you said, who do you like?
No.
You said, who do you like?
Well, that was just how I was teeing you up for your storyline.
I gotcha.
You see what I'm saying?
My
Buckets,
bad.
don't ever correct him. That's my job. Don't ever correct him. All right, let's start this over. What's the storyline coming out of Pebble Beach today?
I got so inspired by Chip's dancing that I had to go right to Soulja Boy. You guys understand.
It happens.
Ladies and gentlemen in the chat, you all understand. Well, so here's the thing. We have some stars in this tournament. There's not a lot, but there's a few like Matt Fitzpatrick, Jordan Spieth, Victor Hovland. They're all playing on the easy course today, the air quotes easy course, which is Monterey Peninsula. So it's going to be really interesting to see if those guys can take advantage of playing on the easy course. We'll see how the wind works. These are coastal courses predominantly. If they can't take advantage of the wind, I think there's some long shots in play here. I think all three of those guys are going to play pretty well today, or at least 2 out of the 3, and we're going to see short odds on them at the end of the day. It may give us some more opportunity to take some long shots heading into Saturday, heading into Sunday.
Fantastic. And don't forget, this is a 54-hole cut. So if you bet head-to-heads and you think, how come it's not over today? The cut's not until tomorrow. Top 60 and ties. See you. Thank you very much. Jamie in the chat says, hey, you can't have Chip dance twice and not expect the show to come off the rails. Jamie, truer words have never been spoken. You are correct. Now, we have made buckets wait long enough. And I got to tell you, every single year, without fail, every single sport goes through kind of a lull. And when you go through a lull, it's very hard to predict. I would think this month in soccer has been very hard to predict. But now, the best of the best are getting ready to come back this month. Educate me.
Sia, let me show how we do a proper storyline here on the show.
Dang it.
Bam. Now, February 14th, this is a very special day for so many people. It is a magical, wonderful day where we all come together. Not Valentine's Day, of course. It is the return of the Champions League. The reason I deleted Hinged, I don't have time to focus on dating when we have the best of the best of the best coming back. Finally, after the long wait, we are going through to the knockout stages of the Champions League. It's only fitting that we talk about the best of the best when we're on the Friday show, because that's what we have here today, Coach. And when we're betting on the best teams in the Champions League, this is where we can finally find a little bit of consistency, because these are the games where your teams are going to have their best starting 11, no matter what. You're not going to see any players resting or kind of playing it easy. It's just going to be go, go, go for this month. So yes, January was a little bit of a lull as we adjusted to the World Cup break, but February is where we look to break that lull and once again find consistency within the sport.
Well done, Buckets. So much great information. So much so that the chat just is brimming with question after question after question. And the most important one from Dan. Buckets deleted Hinge?
I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to let Eric Cohen, if you're watching this, you can deal with the dating world. I'm done with it. I am focused on the game.
Thank you. Thank you. No more of that silliness. We're serious here at the Early Edge. I hated that storyline anyway. I love that storyline. Really. Now it's about time to get to our board today. But before we do that, you don't have a show this entertaining without paying guys a lot of money. So we got to pay those pesky little bills. Here's a word from one of our incredible partners. Just like in the early edge universe, we all belong together. Now, let's get to our board for the day. And by the way, if you're brand new to Big Pick Energy Friday, you want to stay tuned until the end of the show. You want to stay tuned until the end of the show. That's all I'm going to say. The very end of the show. So, buckets, you always get to go first for that reason that we're not telling everybody that's new to the show. But today, there's several little leagues around the world that are in action that most people don't even know about. So, buckets, you, sir, are up first.
I've got 2 picks from these little leagues that not a lot of people know about. And just because you don't know about them doesn't mean there's not value there. To start, I'm looking at the Belgium Jupiler League, which is the top flight of Belgian soccer, and a matchup between KV Oostende and RSC Anderlecht. This match is at 2:45 Eastern this afternoon. And honestly, this league is not impressive. There's a couple decent teams at the top, but for the most part, it's a little bit of a cluster between these mid to bottom table teams. We're looking at Anderlecht over 1.5 goals team total, and it's not because Anderlecht is great. It's because Oostende is just so bad. They have conceded 51 goals in their 23 games. They're currently sitting in the relegation zone in Belgium, and they're missing their best defender right now due to injury. Because of that, we've seen them concede 2 or more goals in 9 games straight. Anderlecht is not the best scoring team in the world, but because Oostende is so bad, we expect that streak to continue. And at -110, that is tremendous value for this matchup. Then for our second match, I am looking at Ligue 2. Coach, not Ligue 1. Duh, not here. Duh, where we have a matchup between Le Havre and Paris FC, also at 2:40. I might be saying that wrong. At 2:45 this afternoon. So these games start at the same time, so make sure to get these tickets in. Now, I'm taking a bet in this matchup that historically I do not love, but I really love when I'm backing Le Havre. Le Havre is a team that does not score a ton of goals, but they do not concede a lot of goals. They are the absolute kings in France of winning 1-0, which is very scary to bet sometime. But I'm going with Le Havre money line sitting at -105. They have only lost a single match out of their 21 games this year. They are a team that will score in the first 10 minutes, and then they are going to park the bus and sit with 11 people back. So you might not want to watch this game because it's going to be pretty boring after that first 15 minutes. Paris FC, on the other hand, has lost 3 in a row, all to teams significantly worse than Le Havre. They're struggling with injuries. They're struggling with suspensions. It's just not a great team right now. So take that Le Havre money line at -105.
What would you make of the under in that game if it's just going to be kind of offense against defense?
It makes me a little sick to my stomach to say this, but I like the under, and even more than the under, I like both teams not to score in this match. Le Havre has conceded 9 times over 21 games. They're a team that's really, really hard to score against.
Wow.
Ugh, that felt gross saying, but
Yeah.
Predicting a 0-0 draw. Interesting. But we've arrived at opportunity number 2 for people at home to win a cool $100 cold hard cash. If you want to participate again, hashtag Bucketheads, Venmo, Buckets, spelling challenge. Yes, spelling challenge. Can you spell RSC Anderlecht? I may have pronounced that incorrect, but you know the team I'm talking. Do not look off screen.
I'm not.
Look straight at the camera.
I straight.
Okay. Spell it.
It's going to start with RSC.
Oh, I thought I was with you on that one. I thought I was with you on that one. All right, you got that right.
Anderlecht, coach. That's my team in Belgium. I love those boys.
Let's go. Let's go. Snake, I need you to pick me a winner. As soon as this show is over, you will get a DM from your boy $100, and you can thank Buckets. In fact, how about you type in their hashtag, thank you, Buckets, $100 to another person who watches live. Hashtag, as Chip always says, it pays to watch live. You may have another opportunity. We'll have to wait and see. Good job, Buckets. Well done. Well done. All right. Now, we've got golf starting very, very, very soon. It's one of those weird tournaments where it's 3 courses and they all kind of start at the same time later this morning. So we got to get into it. Sia Nejad, now give him to me.
All right. I can finally get to my storyline. No, I'm joking. Everybody relax. Back to Soldier Boy and Cat Stevens. Okay, I've got Kevin Yu minus 140 over Sam Stevens. This is over at Caesars. Listen, like I said before, Stevens has been actually pretty good lately, but I think Kevin Yu, there's definitely a talent gap there. Both of them played pretty well yesterday. Kevin Yu really did it across the board. So I'm going to take Kevin Yu as a pretty heavy favorite. I don't usually like to take juice like this, but I like Kevin Yu over Sam Stevens. This is over at Spyglass for anybody that wants to know. That's the harder of the 3 courses. I think that talent gap shows itself a little bit more on those harder courses. The next pick I have is a couple of guys that frankly aren't very good relative to the cream of the crop in this tournament, but this is a guy that I was on in the beginning of the week. I actually have him in some of my DraftKings lineups. Ben Martin minus 105 over Michael Kim. Ben Martin, he's not necessarily an emerging player, but he does do a few things well. And what Pebble Beach calls for, and they are on the Pebble Beach course today, I think Ben Martin can do really well. Conversely, Michael Kim, he can really blow up. He's just one of those guys that has blow up spots. Both of these guys are frankly pretty bad. They could both be over par here, but I think Ben Martin comes out on top. And the fact that he's an underdog at minus 105 really speaks to me. So I've got Ben Martin minus 105 over Michael Kim. A couple things to note real quick too. On DraftKings, I couldn't find a play I wanted to make official, but Grayson Sigg, who I was on at the beginning of this tournament, is a slight underdog to Matthew Naismith, who's a very popular guy, particularly in DraftKings and some betting circles. Sigg is minus 105. So if you don't have these Caesars bets available to you, I do like the Sigg bet. He started the tournament off yesterday at +2, back-to-back bogeys, and then battled back and finished -3. It was a really impressive finish for Grayson Sigg. So if you don't want or can't play those Caesar bets, I do like Sigg over Naismith. Finally, if you're interested in taking some long shots, and I think long shots are in play here, especially with the course rotation and some wind that can, lend itself to a lot of randomness. I've got some long shots. These are just sprinkle bets because these are long shots for a reason. But I've got Kevin Yu at 70-1. I've got Grayson Sigg at 80-1, and perhaps the most talented guy, but the guy that's the furthest back at -2, David Lipsky at -2. He is 125-1. If you're only going to sprinkle on one of those, listen, these are long shots for a reason, so that's the disclaimer. I would actually take the longest shot. I would probably take David Lipsky at 125-1 because he should be great on this course. He rates out really great on this course. The one thing with him is that he's bad with the putter, but these are POA greens. It does lend itself to some randomness, and he actually gained with the putter yesterday. So I like David Lipsky at 125-1 as an extreme long shot.
Full transparency, I won a head-to-head yesterday with Lipsky based off of your information from the early wedge on Wednesday because we talked about him. Mm-hmm. And so I played him. Buckets. Oh, you don't want the smoke from Sia, Buckets. I say it all the time. There are levels to this game.
Coach,
levels to this game.
I kind of do, though. I'm still thinking about that shot he took at me for no reason at the beginning of this show.
Oh, wait a second. Wait a second. I didn't know what we were doing here. All right, hold tight. We got to educate first. Kyle in the chat says, Sia, what is the difference between 2-ball and head-to-head? 2-ball is minus 115 for you. That's the bet. But if you could just really quickly, for people who may not be that into golf betting.
So the 2-ball that you're referring to, because this is different per site, but it probably has ties in play. And that's why you're getting the minus 115. And the tie is going to be at like +700 or +650. I actually don't mind that. In fact, when I have 2-balls that have a tie in play, I don't mind getting the juice down and just taking the risk that these guys end up tied at the end of the day. In this particular case, because there's so much volatility, the odds that it's actually going to be tied between these two guys are pretty low. I would actually go ahead and take the minus 115 with the tie in play if you have it available to you.
Boom. There you go. Educate and entertain, ladies and gentlemen. Educate and entertain. Now, Buckets, you would care to challenge Sia on, you probably don't even know the names here. What matchup did you not like?
I don't think that Sia's got the right read on this Ben Martin versus Michael Kim matchup. I think he's way off there. Michael Kim has been my guy since day one of the Pebble Beach Pro-Am, Coach.
You know what is so funny? And Sia knows why I'm going here. You know what is so funny? Years ago, true story, Buckets, years ago when Michael Kim won for the very first time, do you know what he included in his post-round victory interview right on the 18th green?
Was he holding a bucket?
He put it out into the world that he was looking for a girlfriend, that he could not find anybody to date. Is that not a true story, Sia?
Kismet. This is perfect.
100% that happened. And you called out the one dude on the PGA Tour who put his stuff on Front Street. I can't make this up. So, Sia, he thinks Ben Martin is the wrong play. Are you in or are you out?
Well, Coach, it's like I always say, there are the la-haves and the la-have-nots. So let's just go ahead and play that music.
It's gonna be a showdown.
The la-haves and the la-haves-not. That's Havre, if you're wondering. I love that so much. All right, Buckets. And we all know Sia knows that your Venmo works. That's for damn sure. All right. Boy, this is so much fun. All right. They're still saying thank you, Buckets. But Sia probably going to be typing that in as well here in about, 8 hours because it takes so long to play around out there at Pebble Beach. Oh, I love when we have a showdown and Buckets has no clue what's going on. All right. Chip, we reached that time of the show.
Mm-hmm.
We can joke around. We can play around. But when it's time, it's time. Chip, floor is yours.
So we are going to have some Friday night action. You know that I'm always got my eyes on Friday night action. And the chat is asking if we're going to be cashing with the flashes. If you go out there, we'll give you a backpack. I will give you supplies. And I will say, I'm going to be thinking of you. But that's not where I have found the most value in the slate on Friday night. Because the Eastern Michigan Eagles, for the first time all season, have won 2 games in a row. I kid you not. And so I find myself, am I a little bit of a hype beast? Sure. But when Amani Bates, who was a superstar before he looked like a bust at Memphis, has really started to surge here with Eastern Michigan. He's averaging 20.3 points per game. He's shooting 7.7 threes a game, but hitting them at a 36% clip. And in these last 2 weeks, we've seen Eastern Michigan go from one of the worst teams in the country, slowly climbing their way up. And Eastern Michigan here on Friday night, on the mothership, CBS Sports Network, is catching 11 and a hook. I'm jumping on board with Bates. I'm rooting for Eastern Michigan. I think that they can go ahead and make this a game and a spotlight opportunity. And before we get to our second one, I saw someone say that I mentioned CBS and I didn't play the trumpets. That is a college football thing. Because when it's basketball, we go to the pick scrape. That's right. If you remember, it used to start with the and we play it, yes, on CBS Sports Network. You can hear it on Friday night for the Eastern Michigan that you're going to cash. You can hear it on Sunday when you're watching that Ohio State-Michigan game, and all through Saturday. I think we got Baylor, Texas Tech. Who knows? It's America's most watched network. It's a network of stars. So then, when you get your second screen going, because of course you're going to have the mothership CBS Sports Network on the big screen, I'm going to turn your attention to the A10. That's where we've got St. Louis favored by 2.5 against VCU. An awesome game in the A10 here. These are the top 2 teams in the Atlantic 10 standings. VCU at 8-2, St. Louis at 7-2. St. Louis is playing at home. They like to get up and down the floor. I think VCU will be willing to do that, but VCU's not as good of an offensive team as this. And what does VCU want to do? They want to turn you over. And St. Louis is led by a point guard named Yuri Collins. He's a junior. He's got a lot of experience. He's got the best assist rate in the entire country, and he is going to make sure that that offense does not create the turnovers that allows VCU to go get those easy buckets. So in addition to our Eastern Michigan ticket on CBS Sports Network, we're going to be going to St. Louis minus 2.5 against VCU.
That's
so good. So good.
That feeling that you're feeling right now at home, the same feeling that we're all feeling here, it's called joy.
Mm-hmm.
This is what joy is. You guys have no idea how much fun this is to do every single day. And the last 2 minutes is exactly why. And I'm not even kidding. There is so much joy in doing this. And Chip, I'm telling you. Now, Dirk says, not sure where Chip's sentences start and end, but I'm here for every single word. Hashtag fast talking facts. I love that, Dirk. I love that so much. Are you good, Buckets? You still have something left to do. Are you good?
How do you follow that up, Coach?
Well,
Anything I say is going to sound awful now.
Buckets. Here's
Don't say it. Don't say it.
All right. Oh, damn it. This is so good. All right. Grab your paper. Grab your pencil. Here is the recap, courtesy of the Snake on the ones and the twos. The counselors on Kevin Yu over Sam Stevens. Ben Martin over Michael Kim. I saw somebody in the chat said, hey, AB, who's not working this morning, can you include the showdowns in the recap screen? No, we cannot do that. But we will try to tell you whenever they're out there. But we can't do that. All right, long shot outrights, just a little sprinkle, just for some fun. Kevin Yu, Grayson Sig, David Lipsky. Then Buckets, 2 plays. Anderlich, team total over 1.5. He gave you all the reasons why. Le Havre, money line, -105. He says, do not watch it. Well, there's a good chance it's not even on anywhere, to be honest with you. Then Chip, 2 big plays from Friday night college basketball. EMU, +11.5. St. Louis, -2.5. And, did we forget something? Did we forget something? No, we did not. Bring me back on camera, ladies and gentlemen. It's not that hard to pick soccer. And I gave Buckets an entire show to come up with the 2 best soccer plays he could give us, and he didn't do it. So I'm going to. And if both of these win, I need you to type in the chat, hashtag thank you, coach, and your Venmo. Because if both of these hit, I'm sending out $200 cold hard cash to 2 winners because soccer's not that difficult. So I'm going to go Cadiz, C-A-D-I-Z. They're taking on, where did I have it? Where did I have it? It doesn't matter where I have it because 1.5 plus 1.5 goals. Buckets, who are they playing today? Athletic. Some team called Athletic, who's not been playing very good at all. So I'm taking Cadiz plus the 1.5, and I love the odds. Then the second one, Leverkusen. Augsburg has been awful in my favorite league. There's one game today, and Buckets gave us nothing. Leverkusen to win. I also like the over 2.5 too if you want to play it. But -116 to beat Augsburg, no problem whatsoever. And I don't even need to ask Buckets if he likes those plays. So if those 2 plays hit, Cadiz and Leverkusen, 2 winners, cold hard cash. It's not that hard. Now, we have arrived at a very serious time because many of you may not realize it, but this is an international show. We're huge all around the world, but there are places that don't get the attention that they deserve. So, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the here or there parlay. All right, we do it every single Friday morning. Picks that you just can't find, but Buckets finds them. All right, Buckets. What do we got today? Are we changing it up just a little bit?
Yes, Coach, we're changing it up a little bit here. For the last here or there parlay, we did 3 different both teams to scores, which means we needed 6 teams to score. 5 of them did, and the last one just barely missed with over 20 shots. So we got a little bit of a bounce back, and we're switching things up. We're looking at a 2-part parlay here, where all we're looking at is 2 anytime goal scorers. We're going to Serie A, and we're going to the Bundesliga. So nothing too crazy here, but it's the people that we're looking at that matter. Ademola Lookman as an anytime goal scorer for Atalanta, and Kolo Muani as an anytime goal scorer for Eintracht Frankfurt. These are 2 guys that by themselves are plus odds, and in my opinion, they should not be. They are 2 of the hottest goal scorers in the soccer world right now. Lookman has been on fire. He's chasing the golden boot in Serie A, and he's really been untouchable for an Atalanta side that is capable of scoring 4, 5, or 6 goals a game. Then looking at Eintracht Frankfurt, they are in phenomenal form right now, but they're in that form because of Kolo Muani. If these teams want to win, they cannot win without the help of these 2 goal scorers. Put them together, plus 400. These are on Saturday. Plus 400. I'm getting better, Coach.
That's a relative term. That's a relative term. Big Cheesy said that was the quickest guitar solo I've ever heard. And the weakest, I might add.
It was
All
like
right.
Grateful Dead. It was a little noodly.
It
what?
was. It was a little noodly, wasn't it?
Yeah. Which is cool if that's your bag, you know. You're
I
going
just went
for it.
I went and saw
Tennessee?
Sugar Ray last week and O-Town, and they didn't play the guitar like that. A lot of people are like, who's O-Town? They got
Who's
one.
Sugar Ray? Who's Grateful Dead? These are all good questions.
And I believe that is a great way to end the show. How do we do it? I don't know. But we do it every single Friday. Let's go. There's only one thing left to do. And I believe you all know what that is. You've got your marching orders. Let's take all of these tickets and the weekend tickets straight to the pay window for my entire crew. Damn it, do I love them all. The counselor, Buckets, my man Chip, and the Snake, always behind the scenes doing the hard work. We can't do it without him. I am the coach. Tell all of your friends you want to have a good time, laugh a little bit, learn a whole heck of a lot, and be included. That's what we do here. We grind for you so we can win with you. It's all we're about at the Early Edge. Good luck.